Welcome to QuickLit. Are you ready to uncover the secrets behind inspiring leadership, successful organizations, and lasting impact? In today's video, we're diving deep into the transformative insights of Start with Why by Simon Sinek. From understanding the power of purpose-driven leadership to discovering the science behind building trust and loyalty, this book is a game-changer for anyone seeking to create meaningful change in their lives and careers. So, grab your notebook and let's embark on a journey through the pages of wisdom. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more enriching content. Let's dive right in. In Chapter 1 of Start with Why by Simon Sinek, the author introduces the concept of the Golden Circle and its central theme, the importance of understanding and communicating the why behind any endeavor. Sinek explains that most organizations and individuals can easily describe what they do, their products, services, or roles, and how they do it, the processes, strategies, or techniques, but very few can clearly articulate why they do what they do, the purpose, beliefs, or values that drive them. He introduces the Golden Circle, consisting of 3 layers. Why, the core belief, purpose, or reason that inspires and motivates actions. Sinek argues that this is the most influential layer, as it speaks to people's emotions and drives their decision-making. How, the unique way an organization or individual fulfills their why. It often involves specific strategies or methods that set them apart from others. What, the tangible outcomes or products that result from the how. This is the surface-level layer that people most commonly talk about. Sinek emphasizes that truly successful leaders and organizations start with the why, as this foundational understanding guides every aspect of their actions, decisions, and communication. He introduces the concept of the law of diffusion of innovation, illustrating how early adopters and those who share a strong belief in the why are critical to spreading ideas. In summary, Chapter 1 of Start with Why introduces the concept of the Golden Circle and highlights the importance of leading with the why in order to inspire others and create lasting impact. In Chapter 2 of Start with Why by Simon Sinek, the author delves deeper into the concept of the Golden Circle and explores the impact of understanding the why on human behavior and decision-making. Sinek introduces the principle of the law of diffusion of innovation and the concept of the tipping point. He explains that in order for an idea, product, or movement to reach mass adoption, it needs a combination of innovators, early adopters, and a tipping point where it gains momentum. Sinek emphasizes that people are drawn to organizations and leaders who share their values and beliefs. He illustrates this with examples such as Apple, showing how the company's why-driven marketing and messaging resonate with its target audience. The author discusses how the limbic system in the human brain is responsible for emotional decision-making and plays a crucial role in forming brand loyalty. He explains that the limbic system doesn't process language, which is why it's important to communicate the why in a way that connects emotionally with people. Sinek also introduces the concept of the Golden Circle of communication, which involves communicating in a way that aligns with the natural pattern of the brain, starting with the why, then moving to the how, and finally addressing the what. In summary, Chapter 2 explores how understanding the why affects human behavior and decision-making. It introduces the role of the limbic system in emotional connections, discusses the law of diffusion of innovation, and emphasizes the importance of effective communication through the Golden Circle. In Chapter 3 of Start with Why by Simon Sinek, the author delves into the concept of the Golden Circle further and examines the successful patterns of companies and leaders that start with their why. Sinek introduces the concept of the celery test, which emphasizes the idea that customers are more likely to buy products or support causes that align with their own beliefs and values. He explains that companies that can effectively communicate their why create strong emotional connections with their customers, leading to loyalty and trust. The chapter provides examples of successful companies like Apple and Harley-Davidson, which have consistently communicated their why, resulting in dedicated customer bases. Sinek emphasizes that these companies are not just selling products, they are selling a sense of identity and belonging that resonates with their customers' values. Sinek also discusses the significance of trust and how starting with the why builds trust between leaders, organizations, and customers. When people understand the why, they are more likely to trust the intentions and actions of a company or leader. Furthermore, Sinek introduces the concept of the circle of safety, which involves creating an environment where people feel safe, valued, and supported. He explains that this sense of safety fosters collaboration, innovation, and overall success within organizations. In summary, Chapter 3 delves into the successful patterns of companies and leaders that start with their why. It emphasizes the importance of creating emotional connections with customers, building trust, and establishing a culture of safety within organizations. In Chapter 4 of Start with Why, by Simon Sinek, the author explores the mindset of successful leaders and organizations that effectively communicate their why. Sinek introduces the concept of the split, which refers to the divergence between organizations that focus on their why and those that primarily emphasize their what and how. He explains that leaders who start with why have a clear sense of purpose that guides their decisions, actions, and communication. The chapter emphasizes that charismatic leaders, regardless of their industry, share common traits. They are driven by a deep sense of purpose, and their passion and conviction naturally attract followers who resonate with their why. Sinek illustrates this with examples such as Martin Luther King Jr. and Steve Jobs. Sinek also discusses the celery test in the context of leadership, noting that effective leaders are those who are able to clearly articulate their why and inspire their teams with a shared sense of purpose. He contrasts this with leaders who are focused solely on the metrics and short-term goals, often resulting in a lack of inspiration and loyalty. Furthermore, the chapter explores the importance of alignment between a leader's why and the company's why. Sinek emphasizes that leaders who align their personal values with the organization's purpose create a stronger sense of authenticity and trust. In summary, Chapter 4 highlights the characteristics and behaviors of successful leaders who start with their why. It discusses the traits of charismatic leaders, the importance of inspiring teams with purpose, and the value of aligning personal values with organizational goals. In Chapter 5 of Start with Why, by Simon Sinek, the author delves into the concept of the biggest challenge that organizations face when it comes to communicating their why effectively. Sinek explains that many organizations, despite having a clear understanding of their what and how, struggle to articulate their why in a compelling way. He introduces the idea of the law of diffusion of innovation and explains that most people fall into different categories when it comes to adopting new ideas: innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards. The chapter highlights that the early majority, who make up a significant portion of any population, are critical for an idea or movement to reach mass adoption. However, they are more concerned with practicality and evidence than with the initial emotional appeal of the why. Sinek emphasizes that organizations must overcome the biggest challenge of communicating their why to the early majority by providing concrete evidence and case studies that support their cause. He uses the example of TiVo, a technology that struggled to gain traction because it failed to provide tangible evidence of its value. Furthermore, the chapter discusses the significance of trust and credibility. Sinek explains that organizations must demonstrate their commitment to their why through consistent actions and decisions, building trust over time. In summary, Chapter 5 explores the challenge organizations face in effectively communicating their why to the early majority. It emphasizes the importance of providing concrete evidence, building credibility, and earning trust to win over the practical-minded individuals who make up a large portion of the population. In Chapter 6 of Start with Why, by Simon Sinek, the author discusses the importance of consistency in conveying the why and aligning it with actions and decisions. Sinek introduces the concept of the golden circle of trust, which involves aligning the why, how, and what in a way that builds trust and authenticity. He uses the example of Southwest Airlines to illustrate how a consistent why-driven approach in every aspect of the company's operations, from hiring to customer service, has contributed to its success. The chapter emphasizes that inconsistency between the why and actions can lead to a loss of trust and credibility. Sinek uses the example of Enron, a company that had a stated mission of integrity but engaged in unethical practices, leading to its downfall. Sinek also discusses the importance of patience and long-term thinking when it comes to achieving success through the why-driven approach. He explains that while it might take time to build trust and loyalty, organizations that stay committed to their purpose will eventually reap the benefits. Furthermore, the chapter explores the role of leadership in ensuring consistency. Sinek emphasizes that leaders must not only communicate the why but also embody it in their own actions and decisions. In summary, Chapter 6 underscores the importance of consistency in aligning actions with the why. It discusses the golden circle of trust, the consequences of inconsistency, and the role of leadership in maintaining authenticity and building long-term success. In Chapter 7 of Start with Why, by Simon Sinek, the author delves into the concept of how to rally those who believe and explores strategies for inspiring and mobilizing a loyal following around a shared purpose. Sinek emphasizes that successful leaders and organizations are those who can rally a group of like-minded individuals who share the same beliefs and values. He introduces the notion that a powerful movement is not about convincing everyone but about finding and inspiring those who already believe in the why. The chapter highlights the importance of creating a strong sense of community and belonging among those who believe in the why. Sinek uses the example of the Harley Owners Group, HOG, to illustrate how a strong community of enthusiasts can contribute to the success of a brand. Sinek also discusses the role of charismatic leaders in inspiring and leading those who believe. He emphasizes that these leaders are able to articulate the shared beliefs and values in a way that resonates deeply with others. Furthermore, the chapter explores the idea of the tipping point and the critical mass required for a movement to gain momentum. Sinek explains that the movement gains credibility and attracts a larger following as more individuals embrace the why. In summary, Chapter 7 focuses on strategies for rallying and mobilizing those who already believe in the why. It emphasizes the importance of creating a sense of community, the role of charismatic leaders, and the concept of the tipping point in building a movement based on shared beliefs and values. In Chapter 8 of Start with Why, by Simon Sinek, the author explores the concept of the emergence of trust and the role of trust in building strong, lasting relationships and organizations. Sinek emphasizes that trust is essential for any successful endeavor, whether it's a business, a team, or a personal relationship. He explains that trust emerges when there is a consistent alignment between words and actions, and when individuals feel that their interests and well-being are genuinely cared for. The chapter discusses the impact of trust on employee engagement and loyalty within organizations. Sinek uses the example of the Marine Corps to illustrate how a strong sense of trust and camaraderie can be fostered among team members through shared values and a commitment to a common purpose. Sinek also explores the concept of circles of safety, which refers to creating environments where individuals feel safe, valued, and supported. He explains that such environments promote collaboration, innovation, and overall well-being. Furthermore, the chapter delves into the significance of humility in leadership. Sinek emphasizes that effective leaders are those who are willing to put the interests of their team members and the organization ahead of their own, which builds trust and loyalty. In summary, Chapter 8 highlights the importance of trust in building strong relationships and organizations. It discusses the emergence of trust through consistent alignment between words and actions, the role of shared values, and the importance of creating safe and supportive environments. In Chapter 9 of Start with Why, by Simon Sinek, the author explores the concept of leaders need a following and discusses the qualities and actions that effective leaders possess. Sinek emphasizes that leaders are not leaders without followers who choose to follow them. He explains that effective leaders inspire others to take action and align themselves with the leader's vision and purpose. The chapter discusses the characteristics of leaders who are successful in inspiring and leading others. Sinek introduces the idea that effective leaders are those who prioritize the well-being of their followers and genuinely care about their growth and success. Sinek emphasizes the importance of empathy in leadership. He discusses how leaders who understand and connect with the needs and aspirations of their followers are more likely to build strong and lasting relationships. Furthermore, the chapter explores the concept of servant leadership, which involves leaders placing the needs of their team members above their own interests. Sinek explains that this approach fosters trust, collaboration, and loyalty. Sinek also discusses the role of vulnerability in leadership. Leaders who are willing to show vulnerability and admit their mistakes create a culture of openness and authenticity. In summary, Chapter 9 focuses on the qualities and actions of effective leaders who inspire and lead others. It emphasizes the importance of empathy, servant leadership, vulnerability, and caring for the well-being of followers in building strong and impactful leadership. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.